Hello everyone and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're having an amazing week. Let's get right to the charts. Bitcoin is right now, you can see, almost rejecting from the 200 moving average on the daily time frame. I was talking about this possible level yesterday, but as you can see, if we go on a lower time frame like the 4 hourly, you can see we actually got a low time frame basically on the 4 hourly swing failure pattern. So price failed to break out of this high right here, and right now price is pushing to the downside, down almost 4% for Bitcoin. And I did post on my X, I did warn you when price was sitting exactly right here. If we start breaking below the weekly pivot, the next target in my opinion would be sitting right down at the S1, which is basically once again that 100k psychological level for Bitcoin, where it is basically for right now the make it or break it level. 100k, a lot of fear would come into the market if we start breaking and closing daily candles below this level. But as you can see right now, it is basically still in this downtrend, even though it is moving slowly. So potentially something like this could be playing out to potentially test these lows right here that are breaking out. But as you know, those targets are right now out of the question until we basically break below 100k. Until then, higher price targets are still the more probable scenario, but with the moving averages on the daily clipping to the downside looking like this, Bitcoin trying to test this 50 weekly moving average right here, potentially once again. If it starts breaking down, things will start looking very bad for Bitcoin. Even though the stock market is right now still looking good on the weekly time frame, you can see we do have basically this same correction that we had right here back in the beginning of October, you can see, and then we had 3 weeks of upside. We basically went up almost 10%. The same story on the S&P 500. But as I keep telling you, it is still possible in the cards to go down on the weekly time frame and test this previous all-time high for the S&P 500, which is also where the 50 weekly moving average is sitting. That would take us down around 10%, which for the stock market is quite a lot. You can see right here on the Nasdaq, it is sitting at 22,000. For the S&P 500, it is sitting at 6,100. So very possible. But as you know right now, for the stock market, the more probable scenario is basically continue ranging and slower grind to the upside. But Bitcoin is right now doing kind of its own thing, basically. And I did tell you that this would be my target for the week. And if we start breaking lower, then 92k is also a weekly target for right now. That would be another 10% move towards the downside. Since last week we did get basically the same move for the whole week, down 11%. And this would be basically my final target. 92k would be cleaning out all of those things that I was talking about. The Fibonacci golden pocket right here would be a very potential trend change. So if we hit this level right here, the trend might flip to bullish once again, since if measured from the top that we had right here, that would be a very deep correction. We might retrace deeper down to 85,000, but as I just told you, it would be out of the question until we break below 100k with daily candle confirmations. So for right now, I am saying that it is very possible, since we are basically just 10% away. But for right now, I would be expecting firstly a potential bear trap at the 100k level once again. Then we might see somewhat of a bounce, more push towards the upside, and then eventually we go down this is another very possible scenario. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is just my outlook for the markets. You can see if we go and look at the open interest and price action and how the CVD is doing, basically you can see price being pushed down while open interest going up, and the delta CVD going down means there are fresh short positions entering the market right here. So the move is sustainable to the downside, but we might get a short squeeze happening somewhere around the 100k lows. If you look at the liquidation heat map, you can see there is the liquidity that I'm talking about down at the low 9800s. Basically, it is very possible that we go and hit this level during this week, since the sentiment did change pretty fast. Everybody was being bullish during the weekend, and right now you can see we are sitting at 31, still in this fear zone. We might, if we start breaking below 100k, the sentiment would shift extremely fast, dropping down into that extreme fear zone. The ETF inflows, as you can see, we did not get any buys yesterday, just 1.2 right here, and today we don't have the data, but I am expecting that it will be a red day. In the outflows, potentially they would be still selling, in my opinion, since last week was also in the red. They might repeat this week like it happened back in April. The long versus shorts ratio, you can see overall we do have on the major exchanges more sellers in the market. On Hyperliquid we do have basically a very big percentage of sellers, so this is where the smart money is trading. The bigger whales are trading, most of them are short, as you can see right now. The funding rate still remaining positive, and we won't be having any data potentially the next days, basically on Thursday and Friday. I don't think we're going to be getting any data since the government is still in a shutdown. They were talking about potential open up yesterday, but as I have told you, this was just a rumor. Still, it has not happened. It might happen, in my opinion, on Wednesday or on Friday eventually. Or as I have told you, it might happen at basically the end of November, the beginning of December. And I think this covers it for today, guys. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.